Well, hi everybody. This is Matt McMichael. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the conference today, but what I thought I would try to do is go ahead and present my information using Camtasia. I am brand new at Camtasia, and I've been playing with it off and on this summer, trying to figure out how to use it. And so I'm going to try my best here. I usually don't sound like this. I'm kind of leaning over, speaking into my computer microphone because I don't have a separate one, so I don't usually always sound this monotone, although my students might disagree. But anyway, what I wanted to do was our task was sort of to talk about how we use technology to teach our courses, and I wanted to share a tool from a website that I found to be pretty interesting. I'm still really learning how it works, and there are lots of details to it that I don't quite get yet, but I'm going to keep exploring it. But I'm using this tool from the National Archives website. The National Archives you're probably familiar with. They're a storage. They store and document government documents, images, everything from things the president writes as a memo to all the way back to the creation of the country. So millions and millions of documents. And it's kind of hard to navigate. There's just an astounding amount of things. But some educators have put together a really useful tool using several thousand documents that I want to show you. So first of all, you'll go to archives.gov, the website. This will pop up here, National Archives. And the tool is found in Teacher Resources. So you'll select that. And the tool itself is called Docs Teach. So we'll select that. We'll go ahead and click through to the tool. And okay, here it is. This is it. It tells you right here, it brings history to life for your students. So, hey, there it says so right there. So, as I said, this tool covers all the eras of U.S. history from the Revolution to today. What I want to do is two things. I want to show you an activity has already been created that I've had some success with, and then we'll go through the process of creating our own tool, because you can do that as well over here. So here we go. You'll select Find Activities. I want to use a tool from the Revolutionary War era. So we'll select that era. Okay. You can obviously scroll through here to look at a variety of different things. They've got several different kinds of tools we'll talk about in a little bit. Seeing the big picture, finding a sequence, etc. We'll take a look at those later. But first we want to take a look at this document right here, Road to Revolution. I've used this the last 2 years to help give sort of a counterpoint to the idea of the Sons of Liberty and the anti-Tea, the Tea Party, the Boston Tea Party, I should say, and other anti-Tea activities happening around Boston. There's more to the story than most of us know. So this image, this sort of political cartoon, gives a different perspective. Let's take a look at it, and we'll see what it does. You'll select Start Activity. Okay, and it tells the students what they're going to do. It says right here, we're going to closely examine this image depicting the tarring and feathering of a tax collector. Then there are some questions to answer. So let's start the activity. Okay, here it is. And just basically looking at it, you can see that it's pretty intense. I mean, you can look at the faces on these people, sort of grotesques. You have all sorts of activity happening. They have this poor guy here in the middle who has been tarred and feathered and is being forced to drink British tea. As the tea collector, they're going to force him to sample his own goods, I guess. So this activity is really pretty simple. There are 4 questions here along the side. And I'll give you a moment to look at those yourself. to answer those, and we'll show how I'll show you how the activity works. Go ahead and look at the questions and follow the instructions. Okay, well, first of all, you see the question asks the student to write down descriptive words or phrases that come to mind when you see the picture. Um, I guess you could tell me what you wrote down, but I won't hear you because I'm not there. Uh, yeah, so some different words you may have come up with: grotesque or angry, bitter. I don't know what you might have come up with. Students have come up with all sorts of things. Um, then imagine the picture would have appeared in a London newspaper. How would this have looked to a British citizen living in London, seeing these Americans acting this way? The third question, you're the man on the left with the tea kettle. What are you doing and why are you doing it? And then number 4, what is the significance of a noose next to the term Liberty Tree? So the students will have written down their answers to this. One of the nice things about this is then if they really want to, they can zoom in on certain people. Take a look at this guy right here and his friend. So students can really get in close and look. And then you see this poor guy here. And then over here you have the ship with the tea being dumped. Okay. So like I said, this is a very basic activity. After the student has finished that part, they click on I'm done. And then you're going to answer this simple question. Do you think that this image was created by a loyalist or a patriot? And so they answer that. Then what's really handy, not all of the activities do this, but they can then email their answers to you. And instead of having to have them print this off or whatnot, you can actually have them email it to you. You can so that's really a pretty handy tool, I think. Okay, all right. Very basic, but I think it's something that's nice because you can use a primary source from the National Archives, political cartoon, and students can use this to kind of understand a little bit better. Okay, let's go back out. Now let's try. Let me show you another activity here that's pretty handy. This is for under focusing on details. This one I had a good reaction by students to this activity. Okay, I like this because with American symbols, instead of giving them the whole picture and taking it apart, in this case we have one part of the picture and we put it back together. Okay, so it starts out with, again, this is on American symbols. And again, I apologize. I'm really not used to speaking into a microphone like this, so I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. Again, this is looking at an American symbol that we're all used to looking at, the seal of the United States. But it may be new to 8th grade students. They may have seen it, but they may not know, and they may not have thought much about it. So what I like to do with this is I projected this, with the LCD projector and had students write down their reactions to what they were seeing at first. And of course, a lot of students said a bird, some picked up eagle right away. But what this tool does, it lets you zoom in, or sorry, I guess zoom out. And I stopped at several stages and said, now what do you see? And the students added more and more things. This was pretty neat at this point because students some thought they were stars, some thought they were explosions in the air with gunpowder and smoke, gun smoke flying around. Then we continued to zoom in, and students picked up on the red, white, and blue shield. A lot of them had questions about why there were why the certain amount of stars and stripes. Zoom in a little closer, and we have things that we're used to seeing. The arrows of war right there. This looks a little unusual, and students weren't quite sure what that was, and I had to admit I wasn't quite sure. It didn't look like the olive branch. So then we wanted to figure out what this thing is. So click on that, and then this was pretty entertaining. I didn't think about this, but it said take a look at the $1 bill, and of course students started pulling out money if they had it and trying to grab it out of each other's hands. But we found the Great Seal. Where else do you think it might appear? Why do you think we have a Great Seal? And we discussed that whole thing. What were the components of the Great Seal? Why the red, white, and blue? Why the arrows? Why the eagle in the first place? And again, students you can have them do this at home, and they can email you their answers. Okay. All right, let's go out and try to create our own activity really briefly. Select the Create button over here on the menu bar, and we're going to create our own. This is what I think is really unique about this tool, because you can create a variety of different things. Something as simple as finding a sequence, focusing on details, making connections, mapping history, seeing the big picture, weighing the evidence, and interpreting data. All very important tools for our social studies students. So this is where this tool, I think, requires a little bit of practice, and I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm very ambitious, and I'm hoping maybe somebody else out there, one of you all, might be able to take and use this. So let's try something that seems kind of simple. We're going to try to create an activity using finding a sequence. So select Create an Activity. You have to register, of course, like a lot of these things, but what's nice is when you register, all the things you create are saved on their server, so you don't have to take up room on your own computer. Okay, so let's try this again. So go ahead and select Create an Activity under Finding a Sequence. Here it just tells you it will be saved and accessible through your account. Okay, so there's a template they use to help you get started. We'll go through all three of these steps, but each time the button down at the bottom tells you where you are. So we want to find our documents to create our activity. Okay, and I'm just going to sort of throw some things together here. I think we'll go with expansion and reform. So we want students to learn a little bit more about the sequence of events. And so one way to do that is, again, as I mentioned, there are thousands and thousands of documents here. And so we've narrowed it down to 310, but you can narrow it down further by selecting what type of document you want. If you wanted to only use maps or images or something like that, you can do that. So I think what we'll do is, just to save time, is select images. Okay, so let's select image, and then you have to go back again, sort of unhandy, and select era. Okay, and then it's going to divide it up in eras, and I haven't figured this out completely yet. It goes all the way back to the earliest era, so we're going to have to actually move through these to get to the era we're looking for. We still got the revolution here. Okay, and I think I went too far. Okay, here we go. This is where we really want to be. So we have a variety of things from the period. So I think it might be something as simple as selecting dates at the top. Sometimes you can view details. Sometimes the details aren't very detailed. So this is 1790. So you could select that. Let's see, back to activity. Sorry, thinking out loud here. Okay, it looks like I goofed. Oh no, here we go. All right, so I did not select a document. I apologize. I thought I did. There's another little section down here for finding documents, so let's select that. Let's try that again. Okay. Well, let's stick with the revolution just since it's right here to save time. Uh, so what we're trying to do is show a sequence. So we get these thousands of documents, or in this case, we've got 4,700 documents to choose from, 4,070. Um, just for time's sake, let's just go ahead and try to find uh, some years, and then what you could do is put the documents from each year in order, and then have students go back and research on those things to see what was significant about them. So let's just go with just dates. This is the Battle of Charleston, so let's take a look at it first. As I said, sometimes there's not a lot of detail. It's the Battle of Charlestown, which was in Massachusetts. Let's go back to the activity. I did it again. Sorry, folks. I do apologize. I'm sorry. Here we go. Try that again. Okay. So so on each item, you can add it to your activity with this little green square and addition sign. So we'll select that. It has placed it in our sort of activity image bin. Okay, let's go ahead and try out Valley Forge. That's been added. Get a little Indiana impact here with George Rogers Clark. And let's go back to our earlier image from the Great Seal of the United States. Select that one. And just for fun, I don't know what else to add here. Oh, let's go right to the Declaration of Independence. Okay, so we've selected all those documents. They're going to be placed in our activity bin. So now we want to go back to our activity. Okay, and here they are. And you can drag them in sequence, and I think we can rearrange them too. So let's go ahead and place them up here. Oh, I keep doing. I do the same one. I did the same one 3 times. Sorry about that. I really should have practiced this a few more times, I guess. Okay. Okay. So now we put all of our documents in sequence. We'll go to the next thing. Now, this is where you can type in the introduction to the activity. You can put whatever you want to in there. Place in order of place. Also need to type correctly. And I don't know what you would want to add there for some, whatever you think would be significant. Okay, then select next. Then it gives you a place to put the activity title, your name, and then this will save in your own file. But then you can also publish this to the National Archives site, so other teachers can actually use this. So it's pretty helpful. And then you have a section to select the era, thinking skills, what level of blooms do you think it fits in, a brief synopsis, and then notes of your own. And as I said, then you can save this for yourself, of course, or again, publish it and be used in other places. Okay, so I'll just do that really quickly. Since we're in a hurry here, I'll just make some stuff up here. I'm not really sure what level that would be. Analyzing it. Okay. Okay. Now we'll take a look at it. Okay, let's try using the document or using the activity. Okay, so the things that you've come up with, you put the instructions here. They could have been a lot longer. Start the activity, and so students can look at these items, and based on what background they have or what preparation work you've put into things, they'll look at these and try to get them in order. I hope I can get them in order. Did that one already? I must have put two in there the same way again. So look, I got none of them right. Way to go. That's got to be it. Anyway, you can see this is a little bit of a challenge, but I just find it endlessly fascinating. And I think it could be a very effective tool the more you do. So then the more you practice it. Again, they can email you their answers and you can see how they did. This would be a great assessment, a great homework assignment, a great starting point for debate, all the above. So hopefully this has been something you find useful. As you can see, it's got all sorts of potential and open to imagination. Thanks again. Sorry again I couldn't be there. If you have any questions about this, please do go ahead and email me. I may not have the answers, but I think it's just something very useful to use, and hopefully people will be able to use it. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.